All right, wrapping up another, camp practice for us. A lot of the same stuff, a lot of really physical, situational work. You name it, we worked it today. And multiple guys got reps with the first and second team. Competition continues to be a big factor in helping us get better and improve. So that being said, questions?
When does this officially become Fresno State Prep Week?
Well, we are sprinkled in, bits and pieces of Fresno State throughout camp. Officially, there'll be a period dedicated to them tomorrow, possibly 2. That's a total of 24 plays per unit. And by Thursday, we'll be more full throttle on Fresno State.
Do you anticipate then on Thursday you'll have an idea of starters at every position that are up for grabs right now?
Oh, we have an idea now. We just never really come out and formally announce it. It's just believe in the respect of being able to sit with players and making sure that they hear it from their coaches first and not read it on a blog or a post or something,
When does that conversation then happen, do you think?
Oh, next couple of days.
Okay.
Some will go, and quite frankly, there might be 1 or 2 competitions that go on a little bit farther because guys are playing well, and the counter punches to them playing well are really good as well. So we want to respect that. We have plenty of periods against each other all the way through next week. We do all year long because it's the only way to keep developing as a football team. Because we have those periods, we can continue to evaluate and assess. And they'll have that opportunity.
Is Boundary Corner one of those spots?
It's been a great competition. Those guys have been really, really good. I mean, right now, if we had to play today, both those guys are playing. So just feel real good about the way a couple of other guys, Avante Dickerson really popped today. Made a really big play. And one of our good on good period, well, they're all good on good periods, but one of our more competitive drills, 2-minute, playing some fastball, playing some mixed down stuff. Just really, really active around the football, did a really nice job. The tight ends did a really good job today, all of them did, but particularly 2 young guys stood out today. Made some big plays, big catches, tough catches, getting the ball down the field to a couple of them, but all in all, just, again, the team, I feel like we're progressing. We still have a lot of stuff we got to work at. The emphasis, again, being on execution, physicality, always. We got to make sure that it's every single bit of us is physical. The perimeter, the interior, the O-line, the D-line, the intangibles of understanding that being a full-speed player is being a full-speed player all the time. There's progress there. Football shape isn't exactly where it needs to be yet. We still have 12, 13 days, whatever it may be, to get there. We'll get there. We got to keep pushing the tempo.
Has DJ reacclimated himself with the team, and what's his presence due to the competition there?
Good football player, a lot of experience, hard worker. He knows what to do, how to do it, why we're doing things that way. Certainly everybody's really happy to see him. He's done a really good job. And, again, he's going to be a really good player for us this year.
One of the younger guys that we're seeing a little bit about in camp here is Mcneil, trying some new things with him. What have you seen as far as his development here?
Well, today on special teams, he really popped. He's a guy he's so athletic, he's explosive, he can run, he's physical, he's instinctive. We played him on the edge, and he made a lot of plays even when he wasn't sure what to do. We played him at linebacker, he made a lot of plays when he wasn't sure what to do. He's getting his weight back too. He came in a little bit light, just barely over 200. He's at about 215, 220 now. So he's able to be a little bit more physical, just a really hungry competitor. It's the best way to describe him. So we're going to find opportunities and roles to place him in because he could help our football team.
The comfort there, with knowing what to do and, playing fast is really big. How do you feel like with the young guys, that comfort, just playing fast and laying it out there is kind of coming along here?
I think it's coming along well for a lot of those positions. I think we established it very clearly early on that playing time it's not a popularity contest. It's not a tryout. We really work and compete and assess so that on game day it's not an experiment. It's what we have seen and what we believe is the best for the team. I think our players understand that. We said at the beginning of camp, having all these areas where we could increase the level of competition is going to help us. It has shown, but we got to, resiliency is something that, you like to have 80% of your team to be veterans, guys that have seen it, done it before. We're kind of the opposite this year, right? Almost 75% of our guys are in their third year or maybe a little bit younger, with last year being a half a season. They've shown some really, really good resiliency with all the things that we've thrown at them. And we're going to throw more at them. And we have an agreement and an understanding that the only way to get them ready is to make this really difficult. there is no learning, there is no overcoming adversity by taking the path of least resistance. We got to present struggle. We got to present them with difficult situations so they can respond. Today we threw a lot of those situations at them, and the response on both sides and the back and forth was really, really encouraged by what we saw.
When Ajax has been healthy, he's obviously one of your best situational pass rushers. What have you seen from him that maybe he can take the next step beyond being a third down, 3rd and 7+ player for you, an all-around player for you?
We really like ADrian. He's a very talented guy. He's worked hard to get himself in really good condition, put some more mass on his body, and right now he is a situational player. And we've got to continue working with him to make him an every down player, because what he has flashed on 1st and 2nd down in terms of power, setting edges, destroying blocks is really impressive. But it's got to be consistent, and that's what we're working on. We're very encouraged with all the things that we're seeing, and we're going to press ADrian really, really hard, and we're going to test him to the max, because for our team to be really good, ADrian's got to play his best football consistently on every single down. So that's our commitment to him right now. I believe he's committed to it as well. Excited to just keep challenging him and see the result.
You mentioned having a younger team. With some of the positives of having those young guys?
What are some of the positives of having some of the young guys? I don't think there's any negatives. I think that their best football is ahead of them. I think the older guys that they have in front of them have set some pretty good examples about what the standard is for preparation, for daily processes and operation. Got a really bright future. They haven't shied away from competition, and they are being introduced to, after going through a pandemic year in their respective high schools. Some of them, the other guys have been here for a year, that were here for a pseudo camp, right? Pseudo training camp, and not really having an off season. They're learning the Oregon way, how we do things, and they've all attacked it. I don't like to use the word embraced it. They've attacked everything we've placed in front of them, because that's what we're going to need. We're going to need a very physical, very aggressive bunch of guys that do things the right way, and so far they've done that.
Coach, do you think you have more depth at quarterback than you've ever had since you've been head coach? And if so, do you think that will open up the option game a little more? Because I know you were limited when Justin Herbert was here. You hardly ever ran it except, last few games.
Yeah, we didn't run with Justin until the last few games. He had gotten hurt pretty significantly in his second season, and it was a decision we had made. He was probably arguably the best player on the field, and for us to be successful and win a conference, we were going to have to keep him upright, and make sure that we kept him safe, and our protections were good. Didn't run him as much, but ended up having some really successful, seasons with him. I feel like now, to your point, we have some guys that have similar skill sets in terms of they can run as well. The system that we have also has those pieces, has those parts in that aspect. So it is a talented room. It is a hard-working room. They understand the offense. It opens up a lot of stuff, just like you mentioned, and it'll make us a lot more difficult to defend, we feel. We feel that because they understand it, because they've worked at it, and because of the caliber of athletes, quite frankly, the supporting cast around them, from the offensive line to the slots, the guys out wide to the guys in the backfield and the tight ends, the supporting cast has taken another step in terms of talent and execution. I think that's a really good combination for us.
When CJ has been so vital to you guys for years now, Jim has talked about you don't want to take away, obviously, his tenacity and practice and all those things. Have you managed this preseason any differently for him than you've done before, where it's not a matter of responsibility for injuries that come weeks down the road or something, but just to try and, again, you're talking about keeping a guy upright when he's that important. Have you done anything different to try and keep him the ball, the rolling ball of butcher knives that he is, but also not let him get dinged up out there before games?
Well, one thing we know, and I think CJ will tell you, he plays his best football when he's practicing. If you try to almost treat him like a sacred cow, it just doesn't work. He doesn't get in football shape. He can't hit his top speeds. It doesn't fit his mentality or the culture. So we don't, we practice. Are there some times where we might pull a guy for a series? I think you'll see that. I think that's naturally maybe an intelligent coaching move, but I think the line is pretty clear. I don't think it's fuzzy. I think you have to do certain things to prepare a guy for a game. It would be a crying shame if for the first time he sees a cross blitz, it's game one, and he's never ever fitted up a protection linebacker coming full speed, or that he gets cut tackled by a guy in live action game one and he wasn't prepared for it because he's never had that exposure in a month worth of camp. So, you make sure that you always do what's best for your team, for your players. They do have to practice live. On occasion, we'll alleviate a guy of a couple reps while we get maybe a younger guy or a second or third teamer somewhere else.
While you guys were out of practice,
you said you expected to be the most competitive fall camp you've had here. Has it lived up to that?
Well, we're not done yet, so we got to finish it. We need to challenge each other more. There's no sugarcoating it, man. When we go hard. It's the only way to get the best out of our players. They believe in it. They know we're a very full throttle physical operation. They know it's been the key to us progressing over the last few years, and it's going to be critical for us to completely just be physical, in great shape, understanding our systems top to bottom. And again, the competition has done that so far. We are a long ways away from game one. There's no way we can stop and say, hey, we've done a really good job. Let's pat ourselves in the back for a good camp. We're not done yet.
while you guys were out of practice, there was an alliance that was formally announced between the Pac-12, Big Ten, and ACC. Just any initial thoughts that you might have on a landscape of college football that's changing, especially considering you have an SEC team that's on the schedule here for the next couple of years?
Well, I mean, we schedule ambitiously all the time, and we're blessed to have a very powerful brand, and I think anytime the landscape moves like it's been moving, opportunities like this to be, in an alliance with such prominent programs and conferences and whatnot, it's just another opportunity to get our brand out there and elevate it that much more. So I know that just quickly thinking about it, you're looking at a lot of opportunities possibly in places where there's a lot of Oregon Ducks, right? We've got Ducks all over the country, and this looks like a tremendous opportunity to expand our footprint, expand and elevate our brand, be and go and compete in places that we haven't been before, and just continue doing things to elevate not only our brands, but our conference and, college football.
Something like this lends itself to the idea of the Pac-12 going down to 8 conference games from 9 if there's going to be an alliance like this in the non-con. Do you think that's beneficial for you and the program and for the conference to go from 9 to 8?
Well, I don't think I've thought that far into the whole thing. If you ask me about inside run, I'll give you in detail exactly what we did and how we did it. I'll have to get back to you a little bit later on this one, but I know that in the moments that we've had to meet as a conference and with our new commissioner, every single person walked out of those meetings very enthused and very excited and very confident that we're going to be in a great position, not only because of the enhancements that we feel that he's going to bring, but because we have a lot of senior-laden teams in the conference. The coaching additions that have been made in the conference and the way recruiting has been taken off for a lot of the teams in the conference, this thing's going to be on a steady climb. So that's the best I can do in terms of that question.